route.
Yeah, Jesse likes his quad, doesn't he? He's definitely a quad player.
Well, it's also that similar idea of this very mobile core that is going to be causing chaos throughout the map.
The only stun they have is the Earth Spirit, and even that's pretty dodgeable.
Yeah.
So something with mobility.
Okay, similar idea, yeah, puck.
And so, yeah, this is nice, because, yeah, it's the follow-up to the vacuum. We've got vacuum into Dream Coil. That's a good amount of teamfight control to allow the Terrorblade to get into the middle, pop his meta and his reflection, really get the fight going. So, yeah, no, the puck a very solid pick for Chessie to finish it off. You are, of course, pretty heavily relying on Frost to be that late-game damage. Like, he's the only scaling physical carry on their lineup this game. It's all very magical elsewhere.
We've seen the draft. I'm going to start with you, Breaky. For the final tribe, give me 30 seconds of what does the beginning of this game need to look like in laning and the mid-game for them to be winning?
What does the beginning of this game need to look like? Puck needs to win his lane mid against Razor. They're going to need to be somewhat active with the Tusk from Houndskin and causing trouble, creating that space to eventually jungle for Terrorblade. Going back, the PL matchup against Terrorblade, PL is very good into Terrorblade, but there is the one case where it's going to give Terrorblade a free Sunder option because he can Sunder, illusions, and we'll be able to use that. So off of all of that, I do lean towards TFT. I'm going to go with my voice here, yeah.
Well, I think I actually prefer what ALWAYWANNAFLY's got going on this game. I think G was so good on the Razor the other day. I think we can expect him to have another great time with it. I think they're going to have a pretty strong lane with the Doom.
Well, what is it going to look like, though? Like, if same question is like, in that first beginning, what is it going to look like?
I mean, I think you're going to see the team try and make sure that they have the right matchup against the Darkseer lane. They're going to have to be very careful with the lane, make sure this PL is in a position where he can get the good farm, get that good Diffusal Blade timing, so they can sort of start to get more active with the PL whilst this Terrorblade is still farming away.
All right. You've got it. Who do you got? TFT?
TFT, ALWAYWANNAFLY Gold.
I'll go TFT. Game started. Let's get it going.
Yeah, let's get going into the first game of the day, elimination time. A best of one with me and Purge, and we have to look out for laning. Got to see if that Terrorblade is going to get doomed or not, and any other things that you think we should watch out for in this match, because the odds are very even with our panelists split.
I think what's always really important for games that the Final Tribe plays is how well do they pressure in the mid game. Because some games they sit back a little bit and they farm a little, and sometimes they feels like they need to get more rotations on the map. That might make be the impactful part of this match here.
Perhaps with Chessie playing puck, he can instigate those rotations and make those movements happen. And
yeah, that's the cool thing about puck as a hero. Like you push lanes really easily because you have 2 AoE nukes. And you can also gank super well, and it's all really low cooldowns as well. So it's something that should naturally facilitate those movements and allow him to kind of create space for the front line. And Puck is also very good at running you type heroes like Doom and PL and Razor and Earth Spirit, because if you do get a good Dream Coil off, those heroes aren't going to be able to dive as well, and it should allow your team to, or at least your TB, to just do a lot of damage from the backline.
Yeah, if you can get an instant silence on that Doom, prevent him from getting his actual Doom out, then at least you give Terrorblade some extra space, because that will be a key hero for the Final Tribe, and they do need that to be fat at the same time. PL on the other side, of course, as well. Later on, Owen gives the edge to the Phantom Lancer over the Terrorblade, but I also thought Breaky made a good point. Terrorblade has got some Sunder targets. Who do you give the edge in this game?
It just kind of depends on how the team fights develop. If TB gets doomed before he uses Metamorphosis, and the fight is basically over before it's even started. If he's able to use Metamorphosis and maybe even pop a Manta style or something like that, then his damage potential is still really high, especially because Oracle can back him up. So even if he does get doomed, he can still elongate his lifespan, end up doing more damage, kind of a thing.
Razor versus Puck in the mid lane, by the way, is a pretty old school matchup, I'd say. Who do you think?
It's technically, I mean, Puck has solutions, right? If you get static linked, you can orb away. You'd much rather orb offensively for last hits and stuff like that, but I think it should be okay both ways. The other issue is that Razor typically can't push as well, but I guess if he gets more of his passive, then he should be fine. Can end up dealing with that.
Nice roll away. Still gets disabled. Hanskin is still on the chase with a couple of creeps and tag team. That actually is going to do a lot of damage. It will be first blood going the way of the Final Tribe.
That's cool. Took a little bit of doing, but the wave does end up stacking up. Well, actually, it's not really stacked, I guess. it'll end up meeting at a weird place. Although that's actually pretty funny.
That is
BZZ accidentally side pulled for the enemy team.
Is it not nice?
Yeah, that was bad. Now he's going to take a bunch of damage. He actually had to kind of fight there because he was trying to side pull himself.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the creep wave that was being pulled by Ember Spirit ended up there. So he lost one creep. It's about to die. Yep, dead now. Not the end of the world, but either way, a good start for our final trap.
Definitely getting a lead there on that top lane, and Earth Spirit will take a while before he is back there as well. Meantime, on the bottom lane, we have, of course, got the PL. He's farming together with a Dazzle. That should be a pretty straightforward lane. Up against a Darkseer. Nobody should die, right? Just just to check.
Yeah, probably not. Darkseer might get a little harassed or something like that, but he should be fine. He's reading out the Earth Spirit play there, seeing if he'd roll in on him. So better that way for Chessie.
Yep.
Just lots of stat items for both players here on the mid lane. No phase shift yet, which makes sense. Doesn't really need it.
Does the final tribe not have a massive, well, massive, just have a reasonable laning advantage because the Darkseer is going to be okay by himself, and that allows two supports to be on that top lane or rotating if they want to?
Yeah, I would agree. That's a pretty big advantage, just because that dual lane is not the scariest thing to lane against. The only downside, though, is that Iron Shell later on isn't going to be that great. Like, it's nice on, like, Tusk, but past that, it's not really the most effective thing. But they can also do cool stuff with, like, Vacuum, Puck Dream Coils. They can abuse that a little bit more. They can also make duplicates of PL using the ultimate, so there's good things about Darkseer, and the laning is definitely one of them, but he doesn't combo super well this game like he normally does.
It comes at a price.
Yep.
We do see Valor. He's basically rolling everywhere. He's not getting any extra levels. He's still level 1. I'm not sure what he was doing on that bottom lane, but the rotation from the Tusk also came out towards that bot lane. And perhaps he wanted to anticipate on that. But he's hanging around mid now, and now Doom is doing the exact same thing as Darkseer was earlier. Or, yeah, it's just by himself, being happy. Vansquare, he's actually graving himself to see if he can live. Oh, Valor, there's a tree eaten, a little bit of body blocking happening there, but Vansquare will be fine. Nice TP in from Valor, not sure if it was really needed, but at least nobody died on either side.
I mean, that's basically what Earth Spirit has to do. He has to show up to rotations and try to make stuff happen on the map. It's just really hard to do on against Darkseer, because Darkseer's HP is pretty high. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward kill there with Hold Disable and some TB right clicks.
And that's when you're very sad that you're a Doom.
Yeah.
Where's your armor now? As in...
He's got to finish his phase boots first.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not going to make the biggest difference against a hero like TB.
He's going to be pretty squishy here. He's going to have a tough time, but at least he should get levels, even if he doesn't get farm. And he will the only reason that Doom should be able to get farm is because of his Devour, or if someone helps him, right? Or maybe some creeps here and there.
Yeah, I mean, he can still get some golden experience. It's not the end of the world, but it definitely helps a lot more to have a little help or to potentially get a kill.
And that Terrorblade will just have a free time on that lane as well. So he will make some good time on items. I do agree with what you said at the start, by the way, because the final tribe, their struggles so far have mostly been in the mid game. Their laning stage, almost every game has looked quite okay.
Yep.
Might not have been amazing, but never really lost their laning stage. Their problem always came when mid game happens and they're continuing being stuck in that laning stage mindset and not rotating enough. And maybe that is something where Old But Gold is going to find an advantage. At the moment, they're struggling, though. And Vansquare, especially here, he does not have a grave anymore, and he will get picked off. At the same time, Valor also dies, and that's 2 kills easily going away out of the final tribe, 4-0.
That's a big double kill for their dual lane, but the rotations with Tusk really working out here with Iron Shells. So as long as they keep stabilized in safe lane, which it seems like, 41 last hits, 42 last hits now for Terrorblade, and then as long as Puck does semi-good, and then they start doing good rotations, then they should be able to get pretty far ahead.
Yeah.
But it's not out of control yet, for sure.
No, and you said Puck doing semi-good. He is 10 last hits behind. Does that matter for Puck? Because you can still, you still get the levels. You can still be super mobile, even if you are a little bit less rich than your opponent on the mid lane.
I think it's okay in this case, just because Razor's likely to beat most 1v1 matchups, and he's just a little bit behind. He's not that far behind. He's almost level 6 as well. So
Yeah.
once he gets 6, he can rotate, and everything's going to be fine.
He is very speedy. He did invest in those boots, paying off.
The first skill is so good. Fortune's End against Doom, and even against like against Earth Spirit and other heroes. Just because he can dispel the Infernal Blade as soon as it applies, so he can break Poison Touch. There's just so many good things that it stops.
And just give him the old runaway. It did also force 2 supports to hang out on top lane. I'm wondering what they can do there with that tri-lane, as we already pointed out that trying to stop the Terrorblade from farming is a tough ask. And he is level 7. So I'm not sure what level 2 Earth Spirit wants to do here, but it's going to be an interesting engagement if they do intend to go for that. And then one that will probably also lure that Tusk top lane. And he is full health and mana as well.
Yeah, this is one of those situations with Terrorblade where he can just do whatever he wants skill build-wise. He's just maximizing his experience gain and his gold gain by putting all of his points into Conjure Image and Metamorphosis. He doesn't even have Sunder yet. Opponents don't necessarily know, but this means that if he does end up having to go to the jungle, which he hasn't had to yet, 8 minutes into the game, complete free farm, can jungle if he wants to. We're going to see this tower even get pressure top probably. And Doom just can't really deal with that super well because he can't get on top of the Terrorblade, and even if he does, Oracle can offset it with the Fortune's End. And Doom has to constantly worry about getting disabled himself. It's just a tough situation for a Doom to be in. Normally, Doom seem to have decent matchups, but not this game.
It just looks so unnatural seeing 3 heroes against a Terrorblade lane, and Terrorblade is the one pressuring a tier 1 tower. Normally, you'll see that brown blob somewhere in the jungle at this stage of the game. And
it's just a really good game for him.
Could they have prevented this Terrorblade from getting out of control like this?
Like you said, they had a solo offlane Darkseer, which could get by against a PL and against the Dazzle by himself. And as a result, they committed 3 heroes top for a couple levels. Here's the rotation from Jesse, though.
This looks like free gold on the side of TFT. BCZ will try to run from this, but that's a level 8 puck. Tough one to run away from. The Vision will come out as well.
With the DD.
With the DD, why not? Now a teleport comes out from Earth Spirit, but...
And this tower just dies. This looks like Dota from like 3 years ago, basically, where like the safe lane tower is just killed right away.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tri-lane on the side of TFT.
Yeah, it does look very reminiscent of that. But with TB having this great early start, they've got to be really pleased. The only really big negative is that they don't have good AoE against PL.
Yeah.
And even with Reflection is not a good PL solution. It like gives you some ground to stand on, but he's still going to dispel it constantly with Doppelganger. So it's not the most amazing thing. They're definitely going to have AoE problems. You don't want to buy Battle Fury on TB. You don't want to buy Mjolnir. I'm not really sure what they're going to do as a PL solution, to be honest.
No, so if you are all but gold, you know that you're kind of on the back foot, but you have got this insurance policy that is the PL, and you should be able to be fine come mid to late game, especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's not pressured right now. He's farming happily. He's doing his thing. We also have Razor actually helping out bottom. I'm not sure if they can make something happen with the 2 of them on the Tusk and on the Darkseer. They do find them.
The bet's still very even, too.
Yeah.
A little surprised about this, considering that Final Tribe has such a good early game, but nice shards.
Very nice shards. Seeing if he can run from G. Snowball will only delay his execution in this case. Nice kill. First kill on the board for Old But Gold. Just in time for perhaps some runes. It seems like it was 1 for 3, though, in terms of the runes. The Darkseer still got his.
We'll see what they rotate now. Puck and Oracle still playing around mid lane, but it doesn't really seem like that lane is super pressurable. Puck, yeah, he's getting a little closer to his Blink Dagger. He's up to 1900 gold now. Not going to buy Treads first, just going straight for the Blink. I think a good plan. That way he can just set up initiations and fights around the map.
Yep. We're also seeing Old But Gold just giving some extra experience to their supports, because they are very under-leveled. Level 3 on that Earth Spirit still. Darkseer is... Well, he's doing okay. When Darkseer, we probably won't see Zibba rotate anywhere for a while, right? He'll just be happily pressuring that bot lane.
That's basically what you want to do. He's about to finish his Helm of the Dominator. A little unfortunate for him, he didn't get it in that wave because he could have taken the catapult. But once you get Helm of the Dominator, you can kind of just kill waves so much faster because you can just drop an Ion Shell on whatever neutral you grab. You can use it to kill enemy creep waves really safely. and then your creeps are hitting their tower, and all of a sudden they have to spend a lot of resources to try to offset what the Darkseer does. But Darkseer does it so much better, generally, just because not only is he going to be able to push lanes, but he's also going to be faster. So what Hanskin's going to do now is pull the creep wave back here. Here's the Iron Shell with the Helmet Dominator. They'll cut the creep wave. They're still going to get extra gold and experience here from the neutral camp, and they'll get pretty much everything they want, which is the tower is going to be slightly, eventually dying. That's why Illidan sits here, though.
The first moment that Illidan moves away and rotates for any type of fight, that tower is gone.
Yep, exactly.
Basically. He has finished his Hood of Defiance, so he got some extra magic resist to deal with that Darkseer, and of course also with Puck later on. And perhaps he's going to have to put it in use right now. He does have a Doppelganger available. No, not able to use it. Is that Dream Coil?
He was the cool thing was they I sharded him a little bit close. Like he didn't get to the end of the coil and then they sharded him to keep him in. It was like they kept him away from the edge. So if he used Doppelganger there,
you wanna break it, right? So that you instantly
you want to get the distance. Yes. That way it breaks when you're invulnerable.
Yeah.
But if they kept him away from the edge, he couldn't guarantee that when he Doppelgangered there that he would even get out of it, and then he would guarantee that he died. So in that moment, they got a couple more right clicks off, and they just basically outplayed him. It looked like an iffy gank, but it was a great way to rotate. Like that was, and not only did they kill the enemy carry, but look what they got out of it. They were already split pushing. They were already pushing the wave, and now that they secured that kill, that's how you get a tower. So this is like the most important thing for setting tempo in Dota is doing ganks and doing them smartly in a way that your opponent doesn't expect, and killing that hero instantly because it guarantees the tower kill. And now the whole map is open for Final Tribe. Their tempo is ridiculously good right now.
Yeah, see if they can keep that up. They have this game already shown that they have learned from some of their previous games where they didn't do that. But so far, so good for them. They are running away with this game. But Old But Gold, they'll try to make a play in the latest game so that Illidan can later on carry for them, because they need that Phantom Lancer to be really fat. We did also see the Terrorblade, by the way. He's still doing great. Got that kill on Valor earlier as well. Doom comes out actually on that top lane. They want to try and get Era, but it's just an Oracle.
Yep,
this is 4 heroes for 1 Oracle.
And look, on the same time, look what's happening on the map. It's not just a tier 2 push, it's a tier 2 push with Terrorblade with full illusions here. And the Helmet Dominator creep. Like
that's not worth it. It's not even worth a tier 1.
Yeah, it's not. And they haven't even killed it yet. They're like, let's work on the tower, guys. Good luck. And now they're going to rotate mid with Final Tribe and do pressure on the tier 1 tower. So the crazy thing is, by the time they get mid and get ready to dive, top tower's not even dead yet.
That is scary if you're All But Gold. Sure, we're saying that perhaps that PL is going to carry later on, but at this rate, Final Tribe is not even going to give them a chance to make anything happen in the mid game.
I mean, ever since he died bottom, he's basically just been jungling.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's the right thing to do, but it's not a really good way to accelerate your resources.
No, and just allowing the Final Tribe to apply more pressure to these towers. They're looking towards the tier 1 mid, the last outer tower standing for All But Gold. And at this point, do they really want to attempt to try and take a fight? They have to be so careful.
Yeah,
they already don't defend the tower anymore, so...
Yeah. So the crazy thing now is that when they end up taking Roche, Final Tribe is in just a really good position. Because even if they start losing heroes during the fight, they can just buy back and TP to the tier 1 and be there almost instantly.
Yeah.
Whereas Old But Gold has to TP to the Shrine, and it takes an extra 5 to 10 seconds to walk to the fight. Which easily could make the difference.
Well, they find themselves a Puck, but they should be fine, or at least Puck should be fine. Very elusive hero, of course, and he also, I think he did get that bounty rune as well, so
nice.
They scanned for that, making sure that they knew what was coming. Oh, BZZ. This Doom is not really having a great game. So what? Okay, so you're a Doom this game. You know, your lane went horrible, but you got the levels.
Yep.
What's your plan? What's your game goal? What's your role is still to Doom the Terrorblade in a fight, right?
Yes, but the issue is that Doom kind of didn't get to do what he wanted to do this game. Basically what Darkseer did this game is what Doom normally wants to do. You want to be survivable and they're going to find TB in the enemy jungle. So they do make a kill happen. But the problem is without your ultimate for Doom, your gank is not that great. You're more of a lane winner kind of, and you just you're like a lane presence hero. And you kind of just win your lane by out-harassing your opponent.
Well,
but because he lost so much, he now has to be well, I can gank every time Doom's off cooldown.
Looks like the final tribe wants to stop this push from happening. They will start by finishing off Vanscore. The wall comes down as well. Illidan, he's already doppelganged away. He can't get out of this one. Valor, the last one alive, can't ball because nice positioning by Chessie blocks him from doing that. The silence coming out as well, and enough damage to take him down as well. They got some revenge on the kill of the Terrorblade. They defend their tier 1 mid, and they made it look easy. They have so much mobility. They can just chase for days. Yeah,
Chessie played that fight really, really well. Got the 2 heroes. Hanskin anticipated where the PL was going to go. They guaranteed that kill. And then Chessie there outplaying a little bit on top of the Earth Spirit to guarantee that one. I also like that he went back for Midas. It's like, it's normally feels weird to buy the Midas when you've already bought a bunch of other things, but he basically used Blink to secure the early game, and now they've got all these towers killed.
Yeah.
But what's going to start happening is the game's going to slow down for Final Tribe because there's not as many objectives to play around. So by buying Midas, it just guarantees that he's going to get more farm out of the map, and it's still pretty good for an attack speed item. So Old But Gold's going to try to get something back on the map. They've got Doom ready to go. It's dangerous to do this at nighttime because your opponents might see you at the same time that you see them, and they might escape. But with Earth Spirit going first, they have a chance to catch somebody.
Yeah, they find Zibba first. That's a Dark Seer. They doom him up as well. They really don't want to give him any chance to get out. I'm not sure if the doom was needed, but hey, any kill right now that they can take, right?
They have to prevent. If he surges, he might be able to just run away.
Well, they had that silence from the Earth Spirit as well. But I guess they just want to make sure. It was, better safe than sorry. They weren't going to try and chase anybody else down. Yeah,
anyway. Imagine if like Puck was there and he like blink silences them, and then the silence ends on Dark Seer, they does a vac wall and surges himself, then everything gets really bad basically. It could have been a crazy team fight. True. But because Doom is used, Final Tribe's like, all right, that was more or less the best team fight thing you had going for us, for you. I guess we can just take Roche.
That sounds very sad for Ultimate Gold if that was the best fight that they could have hoped for. But yeah, they will lose Roshan over that, and fine. The Ultimate Gold, they can't contest this, even if they know that it's happening. Which I'm not even sure. Yeah, they do know, but they can't do anything. They just gotta try to see if that PL can fight anything. In the meantime, Puck has found himself a target, and that was Earth Spirit getting a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah. Do you have game audio, by the way? I don't.
I do have game audio.
Oh, it's actually just really quiet. Is yours quiet?
No, but it's probably one of these little buttons.
One of these little knobs, yeah. All right, I'll mess with it later.
Broadcast. Look, there's arrows.
You're right.
I think it's that one. Because mine is a little bit turned the other side.
Nah, it's not that. It's okay. It's fine. I don't need audio.
I'm sure we can fix it next game.
But if anything, it helps me because I don't get distracted by sounds.
Oh, but I like sounds. They help me, because otherwise I would have never known that Puck jumped forward and actually made something happen.
Oh yeah, that's been my problem all game. I'm like, is that a dream call? I'm not sure.
It sounded like it.
The audio, oh man, Dota 1 playing without audio is really tough. Yeah. If like heroes weren't on your screen, you just wouldn't hear the sounds. Whereas like Sanking now, if you're like kind of close to where he is and you hear him channeling an episode, you can hear it.
Yeah.
But in Dota 1, you'd miss that stuff all the time trying to cast. I mean, you remember it.
Well, no, I didn't cast Dota 1.
Really?
I just played it.
Didn't you join right? Didn't you start casting?
2012.
Oh, you started casting after TI1. Okay.
Yeah.
I joined right before TI1.
That was a long time ago. I think you were my first co-casting partner, official one anyway.
Okay. I joined when Gods was already in Ghost of Gamers.
Good old times.
Oh, that vacuum into the wall. The stun.
Wall is great. But the Final Tribe, they choose not to fight this one. They know that Doom is up. They find Chessie with it, actually.
Oh, that's really bad for Final
BZZ has
Tribe.
found a great target for that. Chessie will die for that. That's a nice bunch of gold going the way of G. They really needed that. Illidan's in this fight as well. Already burnt the mana from Hanskin, who can't really hope to escape from this one. The rest of his squad, though, they're fine. Most importantly, Terrorblade is fine, as he's pushing down on the bottom, and he's actually going to get some pressure out on that tier 3 even.
That was pretty good for Old Book Gold, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great vacuum into Centaur Stomp. It looked good, but once the puck gets doomed, it wasn't really possible for them to take that team fight. So, G's having a great game. 10,000 gold on his Razor. He's matching Terrorblade, and I wouldn't say he's necessarily a counter, but he can work against him. And if Old Book Gold can just keep this going in the late game, then PL is certainly going to be a danger.
Yeah. Yeah, the late game is still going to be something that Final Tribe should be a little bit well, not necessarily worried for, but you know, they should keep it in mind. They they will keep that in mind as they take out one of the cores of All But Gold. I don't think G can make it out, no. There he goes.
They got his Mega Streak.
So you know you're going to face against a PL late game.
Yep.
and that's you know, that's scary. What do? What's the plan to deal with him?
Just abandon.
Just abandon. Nice.
Something like Ashiva's could be okay.
For Darkseer.
Yeah,
then?
disables would be nice, just to be able to lock him down. Like maybe like a Blink Hex on Terrorblade potentially. That way you could just jump and initiate and try to kill him first.
I mean, Jesse with that Midas is going to get rich as well.
That's
so
true.
he can get that too.
Yeah, I think Dagon would be probably good. I don't know if you necessarily want to go like a Veil, but yeah, just like Magic Burst, the raw physical damage kind of thing. I think TB doesn't have to. I mean, he's going to go Scotty first, which I think is completely fine. But at some point, he could go like, I don't know, MKB Daedalus or something. Maybe he'll go Butterfly first on his own. That's actually another really good option. If you just get yourself evasion, then the PL just doesn't matter as much, because PL is kind of like the same. Feels like less flexible in items, I feel like, than Terrorblade is. Terrorblade, you can buy like 2 health items, and you're relatively set. Whereas PL needs to buy like, first he bought Hood, then he bought Diffusal Blade, now he needs to buy a health item, and probably he wants Manta or SNY.
Oh.
So he won't be able to fit in an MKB as well, is what I'm trying to say, over Terrorblade.
This is the final tribe with an Aegis, 22 minutes in. Do they really want to push the issue here?
I think it's completely fine. I mean, they're not guaranteed to beat PL late game, and they've got a gold advantage. I think this is a great time to go high ground. They've got Aegis, their TB is very farmed, their puck is very farmed. Yeah, exactly.
They got the wall and the vac up if someone comes close enough. Reflection is just a little bit harassing on the side of All But Gold.
Yep. Tower's down to half HP, so they're making some good progress here.
Yeah, and Linen has to be careful. He comes fairly close.
Iron Shell is actually doing really well against the PL right now. That's actually the best thing they have against PL.
Like, Iron Shell, but that's gonna, like, that doesn't scale.
It doesn't scale, but right now it's really good. Like, I was like, oh man, Terrorblade's gonna lose all of his mana. He did lose some mana, but just with the Iron Shell damage, it actually kills the PL illusions relatively fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's not gonna scale until Darkseer hits level 25.
Yes.
Then it's gonna be even higher.
I think we need to wait a little bit longer for that. It looks also like the final tribe kind of gave up their push, but they're hanging around. The only one not there is the puck, but I think if they can find someone, they can really easy transition one pick off into a push again.
Absolutely. Like, just getting the tower to half HP is an accomplishment. They can definitely come back. Oh, I'm sorry, the Aegis is gone. I was like, they can come back before the Aegis is gone. Nope, it's gone. But having Scotty is good. Just HP, damage, mana pool. Actually, the mana is really good here if you think against Diffusal, for example.
Some more sturdy illusion.
Yep, it'll be nice.
Very nice. The pings come out from All But Gold. They need to try and take some more control over their side of the map. There's some nice wards up at the final tribe that are not scouted out. The high ground up the north side of the map. Those wards as well in the Radiant jungle. But yeah, the final tribe has got a good grip on this.
Yeah.
Perhaps a smoke gank is something that's going to get attempted, but they have to be very careful. They are scouted out. This movement is known, and Hanskin makes sure that All But Gold knows it's known. Runes do spawn for All But Gold top.
They'll go 2 and 2, which is fine.
It's fine. Balance.
Final tribe at this point, considering they have a big gold advantage, I think they just need to retain most of the map.
Yeah.
And they just need to make sure they don't lose heroes. Yeah, he is going for a butterfly here. It's the best item that's going to help them end the game, basically. Like, they don't even have to deal with PL if they can just, like, siege towers, pretty much. And butterfly is going to be perfect for that. Massively increase the attack speed of his illusions while increasing their damage. It's going to make them very survivable against PL. The only hero that's going to be kind of threatening is, like, Doom and maybe getting Razored. The Tusk was pushing out top, ends up getting ganked. Completely fine for Final Tribe. Those are the kinds of hero deaths that are super acceptable. You don't really want it to be Oracle, because Oracle can save your other cores, but Tusk is more of like an offensive, defensive hybrid that's very good at pushing. So.
And he makes sure that now Terrorblade knows he's fine by himself.
Yeah.
He's not pressured on that bot lane, can just farm his heart's desire.
Yeah, it's everywhere, basically, which is what he's doing.
But I must say, it's 7k gold in favor of the final tribe, but there's also still 7 towers extra alive on the side of the final tribe, so that gold difference is mostly in structures.
Not necessarily. Structure kill gold is a lot less than it used to be. It's like 120 per hero or something like that. So it's not insignificant. It's at least like, I don't know, maybe half of the gold advantage that they have, but it definitely matters. And considering the items that Final Tribe's been buying, it's potentially a lot of damage. Because like Darkseer, for example, has Helm the Dominator. He's got a mech. He's got, I think, one other support item as well. They when the team fights actually start, they're going to be pretty strong at fighting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I actually didn't realize as well that we know that Terrorblade can sunder any of the illusions of the PL, but also Razor can, as we just saw, just suck the damage away from any of the illusions of the Terrorblade, which is some extra free damage for G that he'll definitely be able to put to use. Smoking for TFT. Can they find someone? Earth Spirit wouldn't be the greatest find, but that Razor, G's up top there, that would be a tasty little bite. Velour, can he save his teammate? I don't think so. Hey, the BKB actually get popped, but...
How did he die so fast? What the heck?
He just dropped like a rock. I guess that wasn't that a dagger?
Combos or something? Does he have a dagger? Is that what it was?
Puck has a dagger.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. He just threw out all of his nukes and blew him down. What a huge kill. Not only did they kill him, but he used BKB as well, and they still picked him up. Yeah, he's got 15% spell lamp, of course, on Puck. It's like one of those perfect games to buy a dag on him.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. Venskor is indeed also going to be the target. He graves and tries to TP out. There's an interruption. There's a Centaur Stomp. And Creepwave is about to walk in as well. What a perfect synergy of events.
Yeah, they did cut the creep wave, so this is the last creeps that they're going to have.
They can protect them. Protect them.
Yeah, they need to keep those 3 alive. Those creeps die, then the backdoor protection goes away, but not before they get the tower. And they're actually going to play this ultra safe here.
Oh, yeah.
The Dazzle buys back. The Razor's up in 13. They're just going to go back. They'll take the Shrine.
Yeah.
And
Shrine
now
means Roche is a lot more safe as well.
It's so safe at this point, actually. And that was actually so nice that they were able to pick off the Razor for that fact. Like, turning these little advantages into the next advantage. Razor kill, BKB used. They got a Dazzle buyback. They got the tier 3 tower. They killed the Shrine. Roche is completely theirs. They've got a tier 1 tower. They already had map control. They already had gold advantage. They can take Roche first, or they can get the other Shrine first. But man, Old Gold is doing the right thing. So in these moments, they leave the base. They're going to try to get some vision on the map because they know what their opponents are going to do. And they got to take a fight here, and they got to win it so that they can take Roche instead. Because otherwise, there's no way that this is going to go.
Already waiting it out. The Roche is respawning at this very second. But they are jumping forward. They're looking for a target. They found Sibba to do him up.
The block.
They should be able to take him out, but maybe not. The Oracle's there with the save. Era keeping his teammate alive and healing him up as well. So that Doom will not do anything, and Zibba will be back in the fight in just a second. He has got wall up, he has got vacuum up, and all of a sudden, Old But Gold, they gotta be careful. Hanskin teleporting. He actually went all the way back to base.
Yeah.
Meaning that the final tribe also can't really fight right now.
They gank that tier 1 tower. Oh, and that. All right, Puck just bought 3 points. There are 3 levels of his Dagon.
I mean, he had the gold, I guess. It's just okay.
Wow. And they move out. They try to get something done with their spells, but man, Final Tribe excellently defended each other. The first Ice Shards was fantastic. I thought the Darkseer would still die, but Oracle was there to save him, use his skills perfectly, throw the Urn Charge on his ally while he ulties him. And then they even saved the Oracle. I mean, the Final Tribe basically had to burn some ultimates to save their heroes, but they offset a Doom, and that's completely worth it. And now...
Chessie going for Vanskor. That silence is already there. Vanskor still has a Yules available. Actually, that wasn't his. He does get the Grave off. Can he TP out with that? Nobody's there to stop him from doing that. So he does live.
Yep. Not even a big deal, though.
And BZZ is not going to live. His Pipe's on cooldown. His Blink's on cooldown constantly. The Dagon is there. And that's no buyback. Is Roche, even with Doom alive, let's for the moment say Doom was still alive, is Roche something that Old But Gold can even defend if they don't get a pickup first?
Probably not. With the lack of buildings, it's so hard. They would need to have like perfect circumstances. And now that Final Tribe is already in the Roche pit and hitting it, it's just straightforward because then they're going to be set up. But if Old But Gold was able to find an initiation before they were set up, it'd be fine. in some ways, maybe it was a mistake for Old But Gold to run the path that they did to go look for Final Tribe. Maybe they should have ran past the Bounty Ruins North through the enemy shrine area to go find a fight, because the way they ran, their smoke broke too early. They had Razor in front. They weren't able to get an initiation.
They're walking off that high ground.
Yeah, exactly. And as a result, they lost that fight. Maybe that was part of it. But it's just, when you walk the way that he walked, it makes it a lot harder to grab heroes. And in the same vein, Doom also went defensive items rather than going for an initiation item. So, well, he does have a blink, actually. But, I don't know, the fight was just, if it didn't work out, it was going to lead to what just happened.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be a high ground push, which is going to be harder to defend.
Yeah, and Doom is back alive at least. PL is still missing. He is teleporting back right now. He did also manage to take that tier 1 tower with some of his illusions. Frost on the front lines, just going straight for the buildings as he should. Magnetize coming out, but Hanskin jumping in to stop Valor from doing anything more. And BCC, what are you doing in there, Jesse? Gets a nice Dream Coil. Vanscore tries to keep his teammate alive. They are able to do so much damage though, but the Sunder coming out. That's what we talked about. Frosty's able to just get himself back to life just like that. All those illusions are perfect targets for him. Nice ball of vacuum onto Illidan. Illidan still alive for the moment, backing off towards his base. It was a buyback. It was a 1-for-1 trade. The buyback from Valor is here, though, and they are able to hold for the moment. Illidan actually doing quite a bit of damage in that fight.
Yeah. I don't even think they got much heal out of the Oracle ulti. He basically just sundered when he was low, but that doesn't count as a heal, I don't think. It just counts as, like, an HP swap.
HP swap, yeah.
So he actually took a lot despite that. Didn't you have to use Aegis, though?
No,
so
he still has that.
If they could just get healed and come back again. They did some damage to a melee barracks. They didn't kill it, though.
No, that's some hope for Old But Gold. How come they could fight that? So, like, it looked disastrous, not gonna lie. When the Dream Coil came out up on 3, BCZ, he lived, like, that was all credit to that Dazzle, by the way. Oh. Let's see if BZ can continue living. They found the real one. Is there enough damage to take him down? The silence is there as well. Valor taking a beating. He has to be careful. He was the one already just buying back, and that is something that the Final Tribe knows, so they take him out first. Now Hanskin in trouble as well. He's trying to run. Vanscore looking for maybe getting some final hits in there, but Era is there with the save and the heals. And Vanscore, no heals and saves for him, perhaps from himself. He gets the Grave out, but the delay of execution, once again, name of the game for him. 3 dead on the side of Old But Gold. And now they can continue pushing. The tier 3 tower is open. Well, not if Illidan has a say in it. And with the buyback there from BCC as well, perhaps they can turn it around. This is risky, though. This is a scary place to fight. If they lose this fight over here, then Old But Gold might not have any other chance to fight. Nice, well, almost outplayed.
No. They Era outplayed the shit out of him because he guessed which one was the right one. And he started channeling his first skill, and he held it after Doppelganger. Illidan was trying to trick him again.
I was going to say, because
it went
Hanskin was fooled. Hanskin chased that illusion.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't trick the game. No. If you're channeling it and he comes out of the Doppelganger and tries to do that twice in a row. I mean, he knows that they're behind, so maybe he's trying to do some tricky crap. But Kyle was talking the other day about Illidan, talking about him as a player, and he does get a little throwy. I mean, that could have also been incredible, but it didn't become incredible. It was very convincing. But that's a melee barracks. And it kind of looks like they're going to be able to get at least 2 here. Oh, another kill in the mid lane, too. BZ just dying, and now G tanking things with BKB, but...
I mean, he's getting the link off, but where is he going to use that damage on? Only way he can live now is get back to base and join Valor, and basically hoping that the Final Tribe moves away from their fountain, moves away from their base. I don't think they're gonna, though. They look pretty comfortable here, and they're ready to maybe settle down here in this Radiant base.
Yep, and now top. If the Doom had not died there, maybe they could take a 4v5, but
no, they were still too far behind. They needed more time for the PL to really do more, and then for the Doom to do more, because the ideal team fight, as we talked about, is you jump in with Doom, you Doom the
TB or the puck.
TB or the puck.
Yeah.
I guess
maybe
TB preferably, maybe silence the other one with the Earth Spirit.
Yep.
And everything has to really come together, and that's a lot of ifs that have to happen.
And we were worried about the puck, or them dealing with the PL.
Yeah.
But the Razor also couldn't touch the TB at all. He genuinely could not do much against the TB this game. It was just too much physical damage. He did get the Shiva's guard. And I don't think his itemization was wrong. He needed the BKB. Zanjinasha is extremely common right now too.
Yeah.
But it's taken him a while to become survivable enough. And it might have been too long.
Yeah. When we started this game, it seemed fairly even, like a panel was split, but I mean, obviously we have now the power of hindsight. Is this just a clear out draft?
Unsure. You could look at it both ways. They played this draft excellently. This is like the cleanest game that I've seen from Final Tribe all tournament. They played marvelously on every single position.
That's a dream coil somewhere.
So
Punch as well.
So my question is basically, is it that was it the draft or was it that they played their draft perfectly? I'm not sure.
Well, either way, Final Tribe and all their fans are going to be very happy with this performance. As indeed, compared to previous games that we've seen from them, they're growing. We have they have had a long hiatus, of course, and it always takes a little bit to come back. You know, you got to get into that grind again, into the mindset of games, and they seem to have a good grasp of where they want to be with, for example, this draft and this game.
Yeah, and luckily for them, you know, one nice thing about them being against a Razor this game is that Terrorblade is just comfortable buying defensive items, basically. Scotty, Butterfly, Lincolns, these are pretty heavily defensive items. I would say maybe like, I don't know, 40% of the value of all three of these is defensive. So, but it works out this game. He doesn't need to outcarry the PL really, because PL was just always going to be up slower because he had to buy a Hood first because he was laning against a Darkseer. It's like the Darkseer pick just opened the game up so much this game just because of the laning matchup. It gave them the capability of having 3 heroes to shut down Doom and get TB stupid ahead. And then now that they're in the late game, TB doesn't have to worry about PL outcarrying him. He's like, I don't care.
He doesn't have to worry about anybody at this rate.
You do super late game normally with a PL, but because of the items he was forced to go, he's fine. He's like, just keep buying defensive items, keep buying defensive items, and then it also had a side tangent of just making him basically invulnerable against Razor, who was the one hero that was doing really, really well in the early game. So it's like he just has all this dual purpose. It's worked out perfectly.
Yeah, 28 gold ahead here for the Final Tribe. And
28 or 28,000?
27,000.
Okay. You said 28 gold ahead. I was like,
28 gold
just get a last hit.
A lot of gold.
Use your Midas once, and you cover yourself for 4 last hits, guys. 10 last hits. Yeah.
28k. It's a lot of gold, and a lot of that is in the Terrorblade and Chessie's Puck, who has also been phenomenal with his movements and positioning, which is of course one of the key things of playing Puck. He's played it perfectly, and now Frost is standing on the front lines, and really he has got cheese. He's got the Oracle backing him up. Who's gonna try and stop him? And I know Open Gold really wants to, but as we can see, there we go. Valor, he wants to really get on the back line, seeing if he can get something done over there. But Frost, he just turns his attention. He's trying to find some targets. Actually, G is taking quite a bit of damage there. He gets graved up. Save for the moment. Earth Spirit, of course, he jumped in at the back and died straight away. Same thing goes for BCZ. Frost is here defending his posse, and you really can't do anything against this Final Tribe lineup right now. They will take the fight, they will take towers, and they will take this best-of-1 elimination game so convincingly.
So convincingly. This is genuine. This was like reminiscent of watching Nip crush people, genuinely. It was so well organized from Final Tribe. They did everything they wanted from their lanes. They transitioned. They made almost no mistakes. I mean, they only had 9 deaths total. I think they maybe lost 1 fight where they lost. It was like that one fight where they did the vacuum with 3-man stomp. They lost like 2 heroes there, which was like a small mistake, but they just had complete control of this game from the beginning to the end, and I'm really impressed. That was a good improvement from them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of their games, because they are now moving on into the best-of-3, so we're going to see a lot more from them regardless of how to do, but it will be a lot of fun to watch them. But for now, it's time to hear some more thoughts from the panel about this best-of-1.
The Final Tribe, otherwise known as the Men in Black, they came through. They looked hot. They looked like they had a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the best games from them we've seen in quite some time. They were just winning the whole way through. Yeah. It was pretty close to perfect performance, really from them in that situation.
If they play like that the rest of this tournament, they're going to be one of the teams to beat. Absolutely. Not to overhype it too much, but